if anyone's feeling like it's been a long day, and Excel starts heating up a little bit in the afternoon. So if you're feeling sleepy, this session is definitely going to wake you up. Supercharging IT and digital transformations, business value, success and return on investment. It's all there, David. So let me introduce you to David Jacobs, the Chief Value Maximization Specialist. What a fantastic job title at Maxwell Consultancy. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Josh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to this talk. I hope you do find it a little bit entertaining, if nothing else. How many of you, I wonder, would like, as Josh was just saying, more business value, success and return on investment from your projects? Less risk, contained cost, more productivity in the project process, and the result at the end, which is the goal we're trying to get to, the prize, the big prize, which this industry, which with all due respect to all of us, seems to have been a little bit elusive over the last quite a while. Have a look at this. "70% fail for the last 40 years, and that number's not changed." Now, the word there, interesting word there, is expectations, because you could argue that expectations are well above reality, especially in the kind of business world where everyone's very keen for margin and lots of lovely income and all that stuff. But we're going to do something about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a bit, I don't want to say fed up, that sounds a bit pessimistic. I'm very optimistic. I've been looking at this for a long time. I started writing computer programs in 1981, and I got a very good result in 1981. And the deputy managing director of the construction company said to me, "Well done, David, you really helped our business." I did that because I was the computer programmer and I was the user, because I was the market research officer. Instant business IT hybriding. This grew and grew and grew very quickly with me, and through the 80s I sorted out a lot of business IT stuff, right, that you still get. And that hybrid mediation became multifaceted, because I came to be able to speak enough of all those different languages. And then out of that came what I'm just about to show you. Now, today, we are all going to start doing this. This is the start of my 70% fail to 70% succeed initiative. It could take a long time. I don't care. I'm going to hang around as long as I can and see how far we can go. And I like to be very collaborative, so I would like all you ladies and gentlemen maybe to start thinking about joining with me and making a bit of progress on this. Here we go, the journey.
I am a passenger, and I ride, I ride through the city backsides. I see the stars come out of the sky.
That's enough of that. You can't have too much fun on a Wednesday afternoon. Now, I played that because it's a journey, and it's a good number, obviously. It's called The Passenger. Now, I'm driving at the moment. What I would like to see are some more drivers. Maybe some of you ladies and gentlemen will join me and drive. That would be good. Why has it been 70% fail? I could give a 2-hour talk on this, and I'm not going to do it because I've only got 20 minutes. Oh my God, I've done 3.5 minutes already. There's been no specific value, end goal, approach, method, frameworky thing, right? There's lots of bits and pieces, and I'm going to show you in a minute. For the totality, right? The whole thing we're trying to do, I'm going to show you that as well. Have a look at this, right? How do we get there? Well, we could all do something about it, but if you want to talk to me, you could do this on your own, but I've been building this framework for about 30 odd years. Seriously, I am that old. I'm not too old to do it. I've been around a while. I have got a holistic, specific macro connective. That means big picture connects to little picture. I see projects where the overall conception is not too bad, and then when I look at the, like, say, the IT screens that are coming out of the other end, I go, oh my God, you've just thrown all that value away. No, we've got to connect everything up. And what I do is I connect it up that way, that way, that way, and we get a good result. Right, it's a bit on me, you don't really need to know much about me, but look, my career, 3 chunks to it, if I try to make it simple. By the way, I was 15 years old in 1970, so I'm old, but I'm not that old, alright, you got it? Look at this, I was a marketing information analyst and researcher. The discipline of using information to drive and help a business and right. So when I came into IT and programming, that 1981 bit of work I did, sounds a bit arrogant, sorry. Not surprising, I got quite a good result because that's the head I had on me. How the businesses use information. I would like to see much more cognizance of that in the project industry, the IT industry, but I'm not just saying I'd like to see it, I've been trying to help them for a long time. You will notice, the clever ones of you, 85, 81, yeah, there was 4-year overlap where I was a computer, programmer and market research officer at the same time. Again, fantastic sort of dual experience. And then you can see me all coming down there. In 2000, David Taylor, president of one of the IT Directors Associations, was looking at all the failure in the 90s, which isn't that much better now, and he was going, oh boy, we need a whole new approach. And I said, David, that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. However, if you've ever tried to put your head above the parapet and market something, especially if you're like me and you're not really that interested in small increments, you want big prizes, it's very, very difficult. So it's taken me a long time to kind of get where I'm getting. Let's move on. So look, what I said to myself, I started putting this together in the 90s. If I want maximum business value, and I do, by the way, that's what I want from all this project stuff, from my work and IT and that, what do I actually need to do? Because there's an awful lot of stuff in there, and there's all people talking about C++ and Java and Lean, and oh my goodness me, and all this stuff. No, what do I really need to focus on to get value? And I assimilated all the methods. I said, nobody's really answering that for me. Nobody's given me a nice answer. Yeah, that's my little joke, by the way. The first question should not be what flavour of Agile are we going to use. Now I can help you with that because I've got a whole load of models and techniques for deciding what would be the best approach to your IT development, but that's the sort of tail of the dog. Right, look. Next set of questions, this is where it starts getting really significant. The framework that I've built, which, by the way, should you enjoy this and want to know more and learn a bit about business value maximisation framework, which is what we've got here, there's a lot of free information on our website. We'll tell you all about that later. I don't want to push stuff too much. I want people to be happy, start enjoying themselves, start progressing, and not be held back by a lot of traditional societal norms and conventional wisdoms, and lots of people going, oh no, you don't want to do that. Oh yes we do, yes we do. So my framework answers those questions. I've got to keep moving. And the final lot of questions, before, I see people spending millions of pounds, a lot of time and money, oh my goodness. And I pose these questions rhetorically, if you like. Will we be better off at the end of this? How much will we be better off? 50%? 30%? Nobody really knows. Now this framework gets you right in touch with these kind of macro level numbers, so you're right in touch with how much better off you're going to be. But it also takes you all the way down through the detail. So if you've got any IT in your project, as you often do have these days, the micro level, the screens that your users or citizens maybe, or residents or whoever your end users are, will work with them. We had all this, was it HCI, I've got a model in here which I call football team management, and it's about putting a football team together of human beings, 5 or 6 human beings, 5 or 6 IT robots. How would you do it? What are you lot good at and bad at? What are you lot good at and bad at? It's putting that all together to get the most powerful team. I do not see that happening often. It's, oh well, computerise as much as possible. No, that's not going to get you an overall powerful team. You're not going to win the match. Right, let's keep moving. So, we got some challenges. Let's have a quick look at some of the challenges. There's the one I was talking about before. I bet you can say you've missed a few off there, David, yeah. But you see what I'm saying? You, if you're a project manager, I'm not quite sure what your roles are, maybe you'll come and tell me later, but projects are running, all this stuff has to be kind of integrated, and you've got to pick the best flavour of each one, and oh, blimey. Now the framework that I'm talking about, that I've built, underpins all of this, right? But don't start thinking, oh, it's just an overarching sort of wrapper. No, it is not. Think about a jigsaw that's got missing pieces to the jigsaw and some pieces that do not fit. If you just start learning a few of the principles and concepts from my framework, and you can get that from free from my website or talking to me and my people, your ability to get a better end result will start shooting up. And it's like, yes, it fills in the missing pieces, it makes the pieces that don't fit better, it does almost everything. I'm not sure it makes the tea, but in terms of projects, it's very comprehensive, because I keep waking up in the middle of the night and writing notes and developing this framework, and I've been doing that for a long time. In case you're wondering what my sort of base is, although you may have seen it, I also work as a senior freelance business analyst, stroke deputy project manager. That's what I call my day job. What I really enjoy is doing some of this. And what I often say to people, this is just me doing my day job as well as I possibly can. There's a little quote from me from a little while ago. It's bloody difficult. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? We can edit that bit out, can't we? It's very, very difficult, and we all need to recognise that, and lots of sensible people will say that. Now have a look at this model. Some people say to me, David, your slides are very busy. Don't complain, you're getting lots of free information. You can read the detail later. Listen to me and I'll guide you through what's important. Look, IT on the right, real world on the left. Right, am I right? Black and white, digital, ones and zeros, as cut and dried as you can get. Real world on the left, colour, fuzzy, win some, lose some. Oh, I'm not really too sure because I'm a human being. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to put these two worlds together. Is it any wonder? It's a flipping bun fight and there's lots of people shouting at each other and projects failing and stuff. Right? That's the bit that's really helped me because I sort of got a good feel for info right across the board. They're about as antithetic as you can get these two worlds. Now, yeah, hardly surprising that bridging between business and IT, that good old 40-year cliche, which I would like to see disappear, but I do understand why it exists. Don't read this, but I just want to show you. In case you think, oh, David knocked this up on the back of a fag packet last week. No, I did not. I'm working on this all the time, and there's some more thoughts and distinctions about the differences between the two. Don't try and read that now because it'll make your eyes hurt. Right. Here's another thing we're up against. Look at that technology curve. You know, chips, power of computers, right? Boing, exponential. So all the expectations of, say, your business folks, oh, why aren't our projects doing that? Well, because that's not reality. The fact is, the sort of performance of software and everything is further down, and our ability to really lock on to value, which is what we're trying to do, this is what we're trying to do, is somewhere down there. I knocked this up way back over 20 years ago, this model, and it's quite interesting because I was doing a presentation and John Yard, the IT director of HMRC, got up and he said, we're in the IT industry, we're where cars were in 1934. No, sorry, I'm so sorry. He said where cars were in 1940, and I said we're where cars were in 1934. So HMRC IT director agreed with me, which was good. So what do we do about it? Now this is useful. This is called a step diagram, and it's an answer to what I just showed you. You got that curve, you can't follow that curve, because you can't. In anything, even in life, you can't just keep following a curve. You've got to chop little steps to it. Now, you could be doing agile, you could be doing waterfall, you could be doing whatever, assuming you're doing IT, because I really like projects that don't have any IT as well, because it gets a bit much after a while. You're going to cut little steps. So what you've got to work out is how long, is that step going to be an hour's bit of agile work or a day? Or is it going to be a year's waterfall or what? That's your time. And then, see this little dotted? How high up the improvement scale are you going to try and reach? That's your decision. But you know, I mean, you will know this, but most companies who have got some brain cells end up doing a kind of agile, because the business and organisation doesn't want to work agile-wise and all this. No, of course they don't. So that's quite a useful model for getting your head round how you're going to work. Right, so we're going to have to work together on this, guys. Can't have too much fun, but just get a load of this. Right, I haven't got time. Have a read of that. Have a read of that. I bet some of you have seen those quotes before. I've got a lot more of them. What's it saying to us? It's saying, don't be afraid to stand up and put your head above the parapet. I was in a BCS group way back in about 99, 2000, and a couple of very smart women said, there's a gap between business and IT, and we need to start talking about bridging it. And if you're someone who does stand up and talk about it, don't you feel rather alone in your organisation and tend to find that the techies will shoot you down and senior management will shoot you down, and yeah, but that's never bothered me, as you might have gathered by now. But when something is new, everything is changing every second of every day, and especially in this industry. So do you want to take a bit of a punt? Do you want to talk to me? I'll give you a load of it for free. You can go away and come back, and your departments will be going, bloody hell, that's a bit better. You know, one day we might have to start charging some fees. I try to charge as little as possible, not as much as possible. I'm not wild about this capitalist system that we all work in, where everyone's trying to screw a lot of money out of each other. I'd rather see us all making some progress together. Right, next, how are we doing? A little bit more fun. So, this is where we're going to start, okay? Right, proper work. Stop, falling over. What is value? I've got to be very, very quick on this. Achievement against your objectives. Who doesn't know that? That tells you, this is one of the core models. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to be very quick. The value comes from what you would call the business process, ladies and gentlemen. It does not come from the IT. The IT is in there. A golfer doesn't get to world-class golf because he's got a fantastic flipping set of clubs. He or she gets to world-class golf because they're a blooming good golfer. And good clubs will help, and bad clubs will hinder a bit, right? That's what that model, I can do half an hour on this model, but you'll be relieved to say I'm not going to. Right. These are the ingredients, the elements that you need to think about to get value. Your business process, your human beings. It's a combination of IT functionality and human beings. You know, the techies are going, oh, the system does this, the system does that. Yeah, the system helps work with human beings, and you need to get the humans and the IT working together if you've got IT in your project. And those are all other variables which I'm running out of time to talk about because I'll get thrown off. This goes the other way. That model I showed you before with value at the top is what happens at runtime when it's all happening. When you're designing, you see how value's at the top, you work the other way, you derive what you want to achieve and go all the way up. Now have a look at this. Don't try and read this, I just want to show you this is not noddy stuff. This is a more detailed version of the model I just showed you, and that is a design time model which is the totality, because in 1998 when I put this together I said I do not see a diagram anywhere in this industry, unless I'm blind, and maybe I am, that tells me that. What do I need to do and focus on to get top value? There were bits and pieces knocking around. Let's roll there. You want to talk about, I've got an even more detailed version of this, if you can believe that. Yes, I have. You've got to measure. In my framework, there's loads of measurements. How much value are we going to get, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get thrown off. We're nearly done. That's an equation that allows you to predict how much value you're going to get and see if you got it. I've got a numeric version of that. There's a couple of examples of where I've used this framework and approach to sort out some real typical business IT shouting at each other problems. That's somebody I've trained. There are people walking around, not many, who put BVMS after their name, Business Value Maximisation Specialist, and this woman has got that accreditation. I trained her. She's bloody brilliant. I want more people with BVMS after their name. Come and talk to me, I'll tell you how to get it. I'm right at the end. If you want to come to our stand, be free, just on the right, and tell us what your main challenge is. I'll give you some ideas. We're on B3. Pip, where's Pip? He's got some of my cards, but that's not important. You can find me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. That's great. We need David in front of most of our boardrooms, I would suggest. It would certainly liven up the discussion and make it very relevant. Thank you, David. David's disappeared, but I imagine he'll be around for conversations for those who would like.